Hey guys, I just had some thoughts and some reminders, just making sure everybody's on the same page and knows what's coming up this semester. One of the bigger things in February is February 27th. It's the Murder Mystery Night. It's not crazy scripted, but it's going to be a little bit scripted, so I'm just putting that on your radar. That's a big Sunday this month. Um, the month of March, I was thinking about making Missions Month for Sadira. One of the things that we talked about is that we can start incorporating some normal church things into youth group, so that when they leave youth group, they're not shocked when they go to a actual church and they're like, what is missions? What is evangelism? Why do we do all these things? So that they can start doing that here and now. Some of those normal church things. So I was thinking about making that Sadira month, March, raising money, promoting Sadira. Hopefully we can get a letter written to Sadira, maybe do some games that are in Tanzania, which would be fun. And then I was thinking about also doing evangelism Sundays, which I had a few dates in mind. In March, I was thinking of doing the 13th and the 27th, which would be the tournament nights for March Madness. It's basically getting kids to realize the importance of getting more people in the doors of church, and helping them to see that Jesus is for everybody. And if they can keep that mindset going as into adulthood, that would be amazing. So I thought of doing that. The incentive would be we would make bringing new people in a lot more points per minute to win it. And then skipping to April, the Creation Museum trip. I was thinking of doing that on Sunday, April 10th. They would literally skip church altogether and we would go. You guys are not required to be there. It is an awesome experience and really good for your faith, I do think, if you want to go. But if you don't, I understand. And then I was thinking about doing another Evangelism Sunday on April 24th, because that would be youth group's quote-unquote Easter Sunday. Be a big deal to get more kids involved in church around Easter. So May, I was thinking of a student worship team worship night on the 1st, on the 8th, the last minute to win it, and then on the 15th, the youth group games. So we would compete against youth groups from around the not necessarily around the area, but kind of around the area, and we would start doing this as a yearly thing and have a traveling trophy. I think I can get a few youth pastors involved in that, but just a couple outdoor games and then maybe a message outside or something. Just so that kids can also experience hanging out with other believers from different youth groups. So that's really what I've got for the reminders. And then I had some ideas to get the students more involved in volunteering. And basically it's just making a whole bunch of teams in our youth group. And it's making our youth group look more like a church in the background. Okay. So I have a lot of teams here. I'm just going to go through them really quickly. The youth team, the snack team, teaching and discipleship team, outreach and first impressions team, missions team, the student worship team, tech team, and the planning team. Okay, so the youth team is all of the adults. That's all of us. Okay, no students can be on that team. The snack team, they prepare and plan ahead for snacks. We're also going to say no for students being involved in that one as well, unless it's for ideas and stuff like that, like Julie and Marilyn and Pam have already done. Teaching and discipleship team, that's also only going to be adults, okay? We do need to be wise about where the students are plugged in at as well. So that leaves the outreach and first impressions team, missions team, student worship team, tech team, and planning team. All of these the students can be very involved in. Again, this is just a proposal and my idea, so if you have disagreements or questions, or you're just this is a terrible idea, you are definitely allowed to say so. But the outreach and first impressions team would be a team that gets evangelism, how do we get kids in the door, and when they are in the door, when we have new people, what do we want them to experience here? So fairly easy, and stuff that we already do here at church, stuff like greeting and stuff like that. Um, and I'm going to help them out as well. I'm going to help all these teams out. But like the missions team is the next one that's going to be like, what do we do around our area? And then how are we going to raise money for Sadira? How do we promote awareness for Sadira? That's going to be the missions team. Student worship team, like you see them on Sunday nights already. They're just students who lead us in song worship. And the tech team who make sure everything literally goes smoothly for the student worship team. And then the planning team, which is a team that will plan for games, decorations, theme nights, events, and that's actually going to be about it. I was going to say trips, but I don't think we're going to do that. I think the adults are still going to handle the trips. So what they can do is they can be involved, like I said, in the outreach and first impressions team, the missions team, the student worship team, the tech team, and the planning team. This does not change anything for you guys. I would actually love it if all of those teams were very student-led. Now here is what I would like to communicate well. All of the team heads, which team heads of like the student teams, are going to be supported and held accountable to me, okay? I'm personally going to lead the teaching and discipleship team and the planning team. So I'm going to help lead the planning team as well, with primarily just students on that team. That's the games, decorations, theme nights, and events. And I will support the others. So I won't lead the others, but I'm going to support them, and they're going to be held accountable to me as well. So I'm going to make sure, hey, are you guys like staying on your mission? Are you staying on goals? Hey, we have this Sunday coming up. We have like Sadira month coming up. Missions team, do we know what's going on, and are we planning ahead for those things? So they'll be held accountable to me. And I will also be the main source of communication for youth group, just like I already am. So how this looks is the youth team, which is all the adults, are going to all of like the ideas for the other teams, except for like the snack team and except for like the snack team. All the other teams, like all their ideas, are going to go through the youth team. So if the missions team has ideas for missions, we run it through the adults first. And so that way, like, the adults are well communicated with, and that we can support them, be like, hey, this is a really cool idea, thank you for bringing this up. Or if there's like things that like kids aren't thinking about, and that adults have more experience in life, and we can maybe be like, I don't know if you're thinking about this or this. And that's for every team. So just how it is now, like every idea is going to be ran through you guys. And again, so that we communicate well, and so that we are functioning as one group. I do believe doing things this way is going to get the youth group to also be a place where students can really own it, and that they can really, like, this is their church, They can be very hands-on, and they find purpose, and they find a purpose through serving at a church, which is going to be cool. But it also gets the youth group to be a lot less dependent on me for not all, because you guys do provide ideas, but for most of the ideas that happen. So it'll also diversify our ideas, which will be really good. It'll keep youth group fresh all the time, and new. And so that's my idea, is to start doing that. The execution of that, I would love for kids to be aware of these teams in February and say, hey, like, you can be a part of these. After that, like, when we get kids involved, we're going to give them, like, I'll give them like a mission. Here's why you do what you do. And then I'm going to give them goals, and then they can brainstorm with me what their goals are, and then I'm going to hold them accountable to those goals. So yeah, it'll just be getting the kiddos to be more used to that. And so again, like, when they leave our youth group, they go to a church, and it's like, I served at my youth group. I want to serve at this church. I'm going to look and find ways that I can get involved. We want them to do that. We want them to leave here and be like hungry to get involved in another church by serving. So I would love to know your guys' thoughts. If you're confused or if you just are like, I don't like this, let me know. All feedback is welcome. You guys are an awesome team, and thank you for letting me give you so many ideas and thinking through some of them. So, all right. Let me know. Please let me know your feedback.